Many people are asking God for blessing, but very few understand how blessing actually shows up. They are waiting for money, waiting for doors to open, waiting for everything around them to change, while missing what God is already doing within them. Blessing does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes it arrives as clarity. Sometimes it arrives as pressure. Sometimes it arrives as separation and peace at the same time. If you can recognize the signs, you will stop doubting the process and start trusting the purpose. Today you will understand how to know when God is blessing you, even before the results appear. When God begins to bless a person, the first evidence is not material increase, but clarity of purpose. Confusion starts to lift because blessing always follows assignment. Purpose is the original intent of the Creator placed inside a person before they were born. And when that purpose awakens, life begins to make sense. You may not suddenly have all the resources, but you gain direction. You know what matters and what does not. You stop chasing everything and start committing to one thing. Your decisions become sharper, your priorities cleaner, and your energy more focused. Purpose does not answer every question, but it silences confusion. When purpose becomes clear, time becomes valuable, discipline becomes natural, and excuses lose their attraction. Clarity of purpose also changes how you pray. You stop asking God to bless everything you want and start asking Him to empower what you were designed to do. Your prayers shift from desperation to alignment. You begin to recognize opportunities that were always around you but invisible before. Purpose is not discovered by noise, it is revealed through obedience. As you walk in what you already know, more is revealed. Blessing flows most freely where purpose is respected. God does not waste resources, and clarity is heaven's way of ensuring that what is coming will be used correctly. Once purpose becomes clear, resistance often increases. This is the second sign that blessing is near. Many people misunderstand opposition and assume it means they are off track. But resistance is often proof that you are moving in the right direction. When you become purposeful, you become a threat to systems that thrive on confusion. Pressure intensifies because growth demands strength. Resistance exposes weaknesses that comfort could never reveal. It pushes you to develop discipline, patience, and endurance. What feels like obstruction is often construction taking place internally. Opposition also reveals commitment. Anyone can move forward when the path is easy, but resistance tests whether you truly believe what you say you believe. Blessing attracts pressure because blessing carries responsibility. God allows resistance not to stop you, but to prepare you. Every level requires a new version of you. Opposition forces you to grow into that version. What you survive today becomes the wisdom you will use tomorrow. Pressure matures, vision sharpens focus, and strengthens character. Resistance also teaches discernment. You learn when to push and when to wait, when to speak and when to remain silent. You stop reacting emotionally and start responding intentionally. Opposition exposes who is for you, who is against you, and who is simply not assigned to your future. This awareness is critical because purpose cannot be fulfilled in the wrong environment. Resistance filters relationships, motives, and distractions. It separates enthusiasm from endurance and interest from commitment. Many people quit at the stage of resistance, not realizing they are standing at the doorway of increase. The pressure feels unfair, the delay feels unnecessary, and the obstacles feel personal. But resistance is often the confirmation that what you are carrying matters. If there were no value in your assignment, there would be no opposition to it. Resistance does not mean God has left you. It often means He trusts you enough to let you grow. Strength is not developed in comfort, but in challenge. And clarity is proven through consistency under pressure. When purpose and resistance appear together, they form a powerful alignment. Purpose tells you where to go, and resistance teaches you how to go there. One gives direction, the other builds capacity. Together, they shape a person who can carry blessing without being destroyed by it, who can stand firm without becoming bitter, who can move forward without losing humility, who can remain focused even when progress seems slow. Pressure is one of the most misunderstood experiences in a believer's life. Many assume that pressure is a sign of divine displeasure, But in reality, pressure is often evidence of preparation. When God intends to increase your influence, He first increases your capacity. Pressure stretches you beyond what is familiar and comfortable so that you can carry what is coming. Without pressure, potential remains dormant. Pressure forces growth, maturity, and responsibility. It confronts your weaknesses and demands that you develop discipline, consistency, and endurance. What feels heavy is often shaping strength you did not know you possessed. Pressure also refines motives. It exposes whether you are pursuing purpose or applause, obedience or recognition. When things are easy, motives can hide behind success, but pressure strips away pretense. It reveals why you do what you do and whether you are willing to continue when rewards are delayed. God uses pressure to purify intention so that when blessing arrives, it does not corrupt your heart. Many people want increase without refinement, but unrefined character collapses under the weight of blessing. Pressure is mercy in disguise because it prepares the inner life before the outer life changes. Pressure teaches patience. It slows you down long enough to build wisdom. In a culture obsessed with speed, God values timing. Pressure keeps you from rushing into doors you are not ready to walk through. It develops restraint, emotional stability, and self-control. Under pressure, you learn to respond instead of react, to listen instead of panic, to trust instead of manipulate outcomes. This internal stability becomes essential when God entrusts you with more responsibility, more people, and more impact. Alongside pressure comes separation. Divine separation is not rejection, it is alignment. When God prepares to elevate a person, He often removes them from environments that cannot sustain their next level. Certain relationships, conversations, and habits begin to feel uncomfortable. What once inspired you now limits you. This separation is painful because it often involves people you love, but it is necessary because purpose cannot flourish in the wrong soil. God separates to protect what He is developing within you. Separation also reveals identity. When familiar voices are removed, you learn to hear God more clearly. You stop defining yourself by association and start understanding who you are in assignment. Separation breaks dependency on validation and approval. It teaches you to stand alone without feeling lonely. This is crucial because blessing attracts attention. And without a secure identity, attention becomes a trap. God isolates you not to abandon you, but to anchor you. Divine separation also brings discernment. You begin to recognize which connections are seasonal and which are covenant. You stop trying to carry people who refuse to grow. Separation frees you from the burden of pleasing everyone. It gives you permission to move forward without guilt. God never separates you to reduce you. He separates you to refine you. What leaves your life creates space for what is aligned to enter. Pressure and separation often work together. Pressure exposes what cannot go with you, and separation removes it. One strengthens you internally. The other rearranges your external environment. Together, they prepare you for sustainable increase. Without pressure, you would not develop strength. Without separation, that strength would be drained by misaligned connections. God is intentional in both processes because He is not just interested in blessing you, but in preserving you. Many people resist separation and try to relieve pressure prematurely, not realizing they are interrupting preparation. They cling to comfort and familiarity, delaying growth. But those who understand the process begin to cooperate with it. They allow pressure to teach them and separation to position them. What feels like loss becomes protection. What feels like isolation becomes concentration. What feels like delay becomes development. When pressure and separation have completed their work, the person who emerges is not just gifted, but grounded, not just anointed, but disciplined, not just called, but ready. When God begins to bless a person, one of the most profound changes happens internally. Peace starts to rise even when circumstances remain uncertain. This peace is not based on what you see. It is rooted in who you trust. Fear loses its grip because confidence in divine order replaces anxiety. You may not know how everything will unfold, but you know it will not fall apart. This kind of peace cannot be manufactured or taught. It is a result of alignment. When you are walking in purpose, fear no longer controls your decisions. You stop being driven by panic and start being led by conviction. This peace guards your mind. Situations that once overwhelmed you now challenge you without crushing you. Problems still exist, but they no longer dominate your thoughts. Peace gives you emotional stability in seasons of transition. It allows you to wait without frustration and to move without haste. When God blesses you, He teaches you how to remain calm in storms, because storms are temporary, but purpose is permanent. Fear demands immediate answers. Peace trusts timing. Fear pushes you to react. Peace empowers you to respond wisely. Peace also sharpens discernment. When fear is loud, it drowns out wisdom. But peace creates space to hear clearly. You begin to recognize which battles deserve your energy and which ones are distractions. You stop fighting everything and start focusing on what matters. Peace protects your vision from emotional exhaustion. It keeps you from sabotaging progress by making impulsive decisions. This inner stability becomes essential as responsibility increases, because leadership without peace becomes control, and influence without peace becomes pressure. As peace replaces fear, your understanding of blessing begins to mature. You realize that blessing is not primarily about possessions, but about responsibility. God does not bless people to impress others. He blesses them to serve purpose. Blessing is stewardship. It is God trusting you with influence, resources, and opportunities to impact lives. Possessions are tools, not trophies. When this understanding settles in your heart, pride loses its appeal. You stop measuring success by accumulation and start measuring it by contribution. Responsibility changes how you handle increase. Instead of asking how much you can gain, you ask how much you can manage. Instead of seeking attention, you seek effectiveness. You understand that every blessing comes with accountability. More resources require more discipline. More influence requires more integrity. More visibility requires more humility. God will never give you what your character cannot sustain. This is why preparation always precedes promotion. Responsibility demands maturity, and maturity is developed long before recognition arrives. Seeing blessing as responsibility also transforms your work ethic. You no longer do things halfway because you understand you are accountable for outcomes. Excellence becomes a standard, not a strategy. Faithfulness becomes natural because you recognize that what you are handling belongs to God. Whether the assignment seems small or significant, you treat it with honor. Responsibility keeps you grounded when success comes and resilient when challenges arise. Peace and responsibility work together. Peace keeps responsibility from becoming burdensome, and responsibility keeps peace from becoming passive. One stabilizes your inner life, the other structures your outer life. Without peace, responsibility becomes stressful. Without responsibility, peace becomes complacency. God balances both so that blessing does not destroy you. He teaches you how to carry weight without losing joy and how to lead without losing compassion. Many people desire blessing, but resist responsibility. They want the benefits without the burden, the rewards without the work, the results without the process. But true blessing reshapes desires. You stop asking for more and start asking to be better. You stop chasing things and start building capacity. You realize that the greatest blessing is not what you hold in your hands, but what has been developed in your character. When peace governs your heart and responsibility guides your actions, blessing becomes sustainable, influence becomes meaningful, and success becomes purposeful rather than temporary, allowing you to move forward with confidence, clarity, and quiet strength, knowing that what you are building is aligned with divine intent and designed to last beyond a moment, beyond applause, beyond material gain, rooted in obedience, stewardship, and a deep awareness that every opportunity entrusted to you carries eternal weight and lasting significance. When God blesses a person, He does not begin with possessions. He begins with purpose. Clarity comes first because direction is more valuable than speed. When you know why you exist, Confusion loses its power, and distractions no longer control your life. Purpose anchors you, giving meaning to every decision, every sacrifice, and every step forward. As purpose becomes clear, resistance follows. Opposition is not a sign of failure, but confirmation of significance. Pressure intensifies because growth is required. God allows resistance to build strength, refine character, and prepare you for responsibility. What challenges you today is shaping the capacity you will need tomorrow. Pressure then works alongside separation. God removes what cannot go where He is taking you. Relationships shift, environments change, and comfort fades, not to harm you, but to align you. Separation protects your assignment and creates space for growth. It teaches discernment, identity, and focus, ensuring that what God is building within you is not drained by what surrounds you. In the midst of uncertainty, peace begins to rise. Fear no longer controls your decisions because trust replaces anxiety. This peace stabilizes you while the blessing is being prepared. It allows you to wait without panic and move without haste. Peace keeps your mind clear and your spirit grounded as responsibility increases. Finally, your understanding of blessing matures. You realize blessing is not about accumulation, but stewardship. God blesses you because He trusts you. Responsibility becomes more important than recognition. Integrity matters more than applause. You stop chasing increase and start building capacity. When purpose guides you, resistance strengthens you, pressure prepares you, separation aligns you, peace guards you, and responsibility grounds you, blessing becomes sustainable and meaningful.